Hey, everybody. Hope you are doing well as we take you through this open forum show. And you can give me a call. You got the QR code above my shoulder, or I'll give you the link as well. All right. So here's the link. You can click on that and you get right on the program today. All right. So let's start off by talking about where the Kings currently are. This season has been an absolute failure of tremendous proportions. You had a team that last year won 46 games. Yes, it was disappointing that that wasn't good enough to get into the playoffs after losing the second play-in game to the New Orleans Pelicans. But at least there was a lot of excitement going into this season. There was anticipation. There were a lot of things that were going on that Kings fans were getting enthusiastic about. And here we are in April with the season winding down with only 6 games remaining. The Kings are 36-40. They don't look like they give a damn. They're coming off, I think, their worst loss of the year with a road trip that began in Orlando, which was an anemic, pathetic performance. They're in a tailspin like you can't believe. Their pieces don't fit. They're inconsistent. They have an interim coach and a general manager who I think in all likelihood will not be back next year. And then you have an owner who instills zero confidence in the fan base. Zero. You don't have any confidence, right? Do you have any confidence in the owner, Vivek Ranadive? I know the answer to that question. So where do you go from here? Seriously, where do you go from here? The future's bleak, is it not? You play Charlotte tomorrow, and then you play Cleveland, and you play Detroit, Denver, the Clippers, and the Suns. The only reason why you're even in the play-in is because the Suns are more dysfunctional than you are with their superstar who gets hurt every other week in Kevin Durant. They may not win a game the rest of the year either, and they're a game behind Sacramento. I'll tell you this, though, if the Suns and the Kings do play a meaningful game in game 82, and Durant happens to be back, I know who I'm picking in that game. It's just bleak. So I saw something on social media that I want to read to you. You want to talk about the difference in ownership? You saw the fight between Detroit and Minnesota a couple of days ago, correct? Here is a message from the owner of the Detroit Pistons, all right? Calls himself the governor of the Detroit Pistons, Tom Gores. It is titled, "To Our Detroit Basketball Family." In recent days, our team has faced scrutiny stemming from movements of intensity on the court. Let me be absolutely clear. We stand behind our players. That was in bold print. While I wish the penalty outcome had been different, I write to you with a full heart, with pride in our players, passion for our city, and a clear voice of support for all those who wear the Pistons colors. We are bonded through our challenges. Our players compete with passion and teamwork, values that so many of us share. Detroit has always been a city that plays with hustle and pride. The Pistons have never shed away from playing hard and having each other's backs, and we won't start now. In Detroit, we rise together. To our players and coaches, continue to work hard and play hard. We see you. We appreciate you. We support you. Your dedication fuels this franchise, and your courage inspires us all. To our fans, thank you for riding with us through every game, battle, and moment. Your energy fuels our players and makes the Pistons who we are. Together, we will keep building. Together, we will keep competing. And together, we will keep proving that Detroit basketball is more than a game. It's a way of life. Sincerely, Tom Gores, Governor, Detroit Pistons. Let me ask you a question. Could you imagine that coming from Vivek Ranadive? Are you freaking kidding me? If you're a fan of the Pistons and you see that message from your owner, aren't you going to run through a wall for him? By the way, Detroit is fifth in the East at 42-34. That's right. A franchise that was at the bottom of the barrel is now 42-34. Could you imagine Vivek Ranadive coming out with a message like that? Are you freaking kidding me? Seriously. That's ownership. That's a guy who gets it. That's a guy who understands his city, his franchise, and his fans. That guy gets it. That's ownership. That is what you have in Detroit. You don't have that in Sacramento. So here's my question. How can you get excited about the future when you see how far this franchise has to go to be where you as a fan want it to be? It's not close. It's not close at all. You're not going to win 40 games this year. 36-40 right now. You're not going to be 500. You're not even going to win 40 games. There's not 3 wins. There's not 4 wins left on this schedule. Are you kidding me? Come on. 4 wins? Come on. I don't even know if they're going to beat Charlotte tomorrow. Seriously. I don't know if they're going to beat Charlotte. They're not going to beat Cleveland. They're not going to beat Detroit. They're not going to beat Denver. And they're not going to beat the Clippers unless all these teams decide not to play anybody. Although Washington didn't play anybody, and they won last night. Right? I mean, it's pathetic. Pathetic. Again, if you want to get in on the program, here's the link. You can give me a call as well. When I say give me a call as well, you got the QR code there. I am blessed that I have this forum to kind of get your pulse on what's going on. And we talk every game after the game. And I get a lot of people on social media, and I get a lot of people emailing me. And I think I have a pretty good read on the Sacramento fan base. And the Sacramento fan base right now is so befuddled, so down, so pessimistic, negative, which they have a right to be. with a lack of true excitement because they know. They know. They know what the problem is. They know what the problem is. And there's nothing they can do about it. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. And the reason why I say this is you and I both know that you're not going to get a true general manager to come in and fix this, because you're going to get a entry-level general manager. And by entry level, I don't mean somebody that doesn't know about the league and doesn't know about basketball. I'm talking about someone who wouldn't get a general manager's job anywhere else in the league. That's what I mean by entry level. You're going to get somebody that needs a job that doesn't have a job. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get someone that needs a job that doesn't have a job. I talked with Jerry Reynolds earlier today. He had a funny story. He's shared this on the air before. When Phil Johnson was fired, Jerry was very, very close with Phil Johnson. And they wanted to make Jerry the interim coach. And Jerry said, man, I just don't know if I want to do, I felt bad for him. And Phil goes, do you have a job? No. Do you want it? Do you want a job? Yes. Then Phil said, well, then take the effing job. And it's really what that's going to boil down to. Someone said Davion Mitchell is looking good for the Heat. Good for him. Yeah, you think the Kings missed Davion Mitchell? Please. It's another terrible decision. Seriously. Well, I'll tell you right now, if Vivek Ranadive fires Monty McNair and has his daughter involved in the front office in any way, shape, or form, you're going to have a revolt on your hands. You will have a revolt on your hands. Period. You will have an absolute revolt on your hands. Just wait. You heard it here first. The fans will revolt. Unbelievable. Mike says, I've been a fan since the Mitch Richmond days, and this team and season is bad at being bad. Very well said. This team is hopeless, says Gary. Grant, do you believe it's possible Vivek hires Mark Jackson as head coach next season? I'm not saying I want him. I would say yes, that's a very possible scenario. I've been saying since the Clippers screw job, we gave up. I don't know what you're referring to, but team doesn't look like they care anymore. I'll riot. Oh, shit, Grant, don't say that. No, I'm just saying, hey, I wouldn't put anything past the owner of the Sacramento Kings. It's a bad situation, man. It's bad. Bad. And everyone knows it. Joseph says Kings fans suck. We're going to continue to watch games no matter who's on the court, unfortunately. No, they don't suck. They're the best. That's the only thing about what you just said I disagree with. I think when you look at the big picture, there are so many teams in the West that are so much better for the future. And there is one team right now that I'm keeping an eye on closely, and I think most people are, and that's the Memphis Grizzlies, who are playing in Miami right now and are down 35-28. Memphis has slid all the way to 8th. And if they end up 7th or 8th, which I think they will, they'll lose their first round game, in my opinion, to either the Clippers, the Timberwolves, or the Warriors. And if you can win the first play-in game, they might be right for the picking. They're a franchise in turmoil right now. And they're in a free fall. They've lost 4 in a row and 8 of 10. Keep your eye on that. They're going to be either 7th or 8th in all likelihood. They could be 6th, but I don't see it. And again, right now they're playing in Miami, and they're down 37-30. They got a tough schedule coming up too. Grant, do you think we'll ever get a parade in downtown Sacramento, realistically speaking? I think you have a pride parade every year, don't you? How would I rebuild this team? Well, how I would do it and how it's going to be done are probably going to be different. Too many casuals will show up. Arena should be empty for the next home game. And back to your question on how I would rebuild the team. The first thing I would do is I would hire a general manager and a coach that are arm in arm, hip to hip, in lockstep, who have the same beliefs, the same philosophy, have a good relationship, who will work in tandem. That's the first thing I'm going to do. My new general manager and my new head coach have to be aligned 100%. They have to be able to communicate. They have to have the same vision. And that's the first thing I would do. First thing. And if I'm the owner, I'm letting the general manager hire whomever he wants as coach. I'm not interfering. I will listen in on the interview process, but I'm not doing the interview. I'm not interviewing the candidate. I'm not doing anything at all other than listening to the interview. If the candidate wants to ask me questions, I'm happy to answer them as the owner. But I'm letting the general manager, who I hire the next head coach. And I'm giving them both 3-year contracts with no options at all. 3 years, take it or leave it. And my word to you is, unless you do something that's embarrassing to the franchise, you're going to be here for 3 years. I give you my word. I'm giving you 3 years. I'm not firing you. I don't care if you win 5 games next year. I'm not firing you. You have 3 years. I'm not giving you a contract extension after 2 years. You're going to be here for 3 years. And if the team is heading in the right direction after 3 years and we are rolling, I will give both of you long-term deals with a nice bump in salary. Take it or leave it. That's what I'm doing. Plain and simple. That's how I'm handling things. Right now, there's a lot of despair. Right now, there's a lot of, I don't want to say I don't care attitude from the fans, but they see it. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Same thing over and over and over again. And it's so frustrating. And again, I read that from the owner of the Detroit Pistons. Can you imagine having an owner like that after the suspensions and the fight against the Timberwolves, the owner comes out and says what he said to the fans of Detroit? How freaking great is that? Can you imagine being a fan of the Detroit Pistons and seeing that? That would get you so pumped up. Man, that's great. Vivek wanted Levine in the Fox trade. Kings should have gotten Castle instead. Vivek is the major problem in the Kings. He's loved Zach LaVine for a long time. I heard Chris Webber wants to be our GM. Let me tell you something right now. There is zero chance of Chris Webber becoming a GM. That's number one. Number two, you would be better as the GM than Chris Webber. And if Chris Webber gets involved in the organization in any way, shape, or form, take my word on this. Write it down right now. What's the date today? Write it down. April 3rd, 2025. Grant Napier said that if Chris Webber gets involved in the organization, it will be a disaster with a capital D. Write it down. Just so you know that I said it. Does that answer your question, or would you like me to go on a little bit more? Joseph, who cares if he can make a free throw or not? What does that mean? Need a real GM and a real coach. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. I'm just telling you, good luck. That's all I can say. Good luck on that one. Well, you don't need luck when you go to Bennett's because you're going to get prime seafood and steaks, and you're going to love it. Whether it's the West Side Grill in Rockland, whether it's the Sacramento or Roseville locations, Brian Bennett does a great job. He and his family and his staff. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com to make a reservation. Bennett's prime seafood and steaks. Rhino's on his way to Stockton for the Stockton Kings playoff game. That's right, playoff. Hope everyone that's going down there has a good time. Getting Levine was very lazy work. The NBA is dynamic. Don't get stuck on the dude for years. With our history, it would be good, or excuse me, it would be hard to get a good GM and coach. Agree with you. Yes, I do stay in touch with G-Man. I just don't see any hope right now. I see the despair. Hey, was anybody at any of the first three A's games at West Sacramento? What's the deal with all the empty seats the last two games? Already? And you got the Cubs in town? And the Cubs fans travel, and it's just so expensive. How could anybody go to the games? I don't understand that. I don't understand it. Seriously. How do people afford to go to a game to watch the A's play in West Sacramento? And then what's the deal with all the empty seats? Is that because of the ticket prices? Sure didn't take long. The incompetence to pair Levine and DeRozan at their Chicago era is hilarious. Hasn't worked out very well, has it? Hasn't worked out very well. Oakland season ticket holders doing a no-show. Did the Oakland A's have any season ticket holders? I'm not even aware of that. I'm being a little cynical, but I didn't see them show up to Oakland either. Cheaper to watch the Kings lose than watch the A's lose. That's very true, actually. Tickets are way overpriced for A's games. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Hey, Grant, I'm a huge Raiders fan. How do you see our future? Is it on the right track? Having a legitimate head coach, yes. It's the best move the Raiders have made in a long time. Long time. That's for sure. Best move they've made in a long time. And the best move you will make when you have plumbing issues and you need a repair is New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They're available 24/7 for your plumbing needs and repairs. Give them a call. Go to sackserviceplumbing.com or newworksplumbing.com, NEWWRXplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They don't have any fix for the Kings, though, I can tell you that. Hey, Grant, my uncle was the late, great Joey Mitchell. Did you ever meet him? Yeah, many times. Love Joey. Never saw Joey without a smile on his face. He was the most gregarious, effervescent personality. Like after you talk with Joey, like you were always in a good mood. He was just so upbeat. He was one of the most upbeat people that I've never been around. Love Joey. Thank you for that. Bringing back memories. Everyone loved Joey. I don't know anybody that didn't love Joey Mitchell. What a great guy. Always left you with a smile on your face, you know? Like you always felt good after talking with your late uncle. Yeah. Great, great man. Blessed. Whoop. Did I no, I don't want to leave. Sorry there, I hit the wrong button. Let me make sure I'm back on here. Give me a second here. We'll get going here. There we go. I took the camera off, which is probably better. You got me flustered talking about your late uncle because I have so much respect for him. And I mean that. So much respect for him. What do you think? Do you think the Kings are going to win more than 2 more games? So they're 36-40 right now. I'm just going to say tomorrow because, again, you're playing such a pathetic team. And I'm saying Phoenix probably won't play anybody at the end of the year because the game won't mean anything. So I'm going to say that too. Will Clark was cool. Will Clark's the best. Will Clark is one of my favorite non-Yankee players. Seriously. Any good stories about meeting New York Giants players in the past? Yeah. I mean, I was at the Giants game every single week from 1962 until I went to college. And I used to still fly back for a lot of games, even when I did the Kings. And I was a gigantic Phil Simms fan. Loved Phil as a quarterback. Cheered for Phil. And the first time I met Phil Simms was at the American Century golf tournament in Lake Tahoe where he was playing in it. And I interviewed Phil. And it was just a phenomenal conversation. And Phil then would be a guest on my show. When I filled in on the Jim Rome show, I would reach out to Phil. He would come on the show. It's just kind of neat that a guy that was really a hero of mine in a way ended up being a colleague and somebody that I could reach out to, and he would come on my show and we would reminisce and talk about. He didn't like really talking about his playing days that much. I mean, if you get him on a one-on-one, he's fine with it, but he almost says, that's my other life, which is interesting. But he was great to talk to. He was great and great to know. But I'm going to tell you, Will Clark, great. Love Will. Loved having him on my podcast too. He was phenomenal. Love Will. You know, I'm thinking about like the offseason coming up. I'm thinking about the teams in the West who have flown by you like a speeding bullet. And I'm wondering how long it's going to take, or if it's ever going to happen under the present administration, to have the feeling that we had 2 seasons ago. That seems so far away right now, doesn't it? By the way, Memphis has taken the lead in Miami 44-42 with 2 minutes left to go in the first half, a very low-scoring game. You know, Patrick, I can't answer who I would want if we were getting a new GM because I don't know. I haven't really done any exploring on that. The Kings should give a full off season or make Jeff Van Gundy an offer he can't refuse. Jeff Van Gundy's not going to take that. Any chance I could get Charles Barkley back on the podcast? Just wondering. There's always a chance. Never know. You never know. Hey, folks, I want to tell you about Sunrise Landing in Colusa. You go to ColusaSunrise.com. Check out this beautiful new residential community from Blazona Development in Colusa. Remember, no Mellorews, no homeowners. Good access, I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20, so you can get to Colusa no matter where you are. Adjacent to the Colusa Golf and Country Club. Go to ColusaSunrise.com. That's ColusaSunrise.com and get all the information on Sunrise Landing. Don't forget, we will have the coverage tomorrow, as painful as it may be. Pre-game, halftime, post-game. Right here on If You Don't Like That. Kings will be good again in 5 years. They need to bottom out to get a top pick again. 5 years? Going to wait 5 years, huh? Brutal. Let me ask you this. What do you think the home games will be like if the Kings come back on this road trip with one win or no wins? Because I don't think they win at Cleveland unless Cleveland rests their players, and I don't think they're going to win at Detroit. So if you beat Charlotte tomorrow or you lose to Charlotte, you come back with 42 losses or 43 losses with 3 games left. Thank you, Patrick, for your support. Though, what would that be like at the 3 home games? And then you got Denver coming in, and Michael Malone, you know how he feels about Vivek. He will want to stomp on the Kings. Boy. Riley says, how did we get here? Look at the ownership. That's how you got there. Seat prices better be lower next year. Well, you got a better chance having Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny knock on your door and tell you that your tickets are free. How many times has that worked where we need to hit our threes and play defense? Every game. We beat Cleveland, though. Whoop-de-doo on my Subaru. You beat them without their all-star point guard, and they had played the night before, and they didn't play well that entire week. But, yes, you did beat Cleveland. You're 36-40. Cleveland's going to win 60-plus games, like 65. Which team would you rather have? The team that would you rather have the Kings or would you rather have Cleveland? Let me see what Cleveland's record is right now. They had a terrible West Coast trip. Terrible. 61-15. They're 33-5 at home. They're going to blow your doors off when you play them in a couple of nights. Detroit, you could beat. You could beat Detroit. But if you can't beat Washington, why would I think you're going to beat Detroit? Help me out with that one. Prices are already out for next year. Of course they are. No doubt. By the way, the Washington Wizards, who the Kings lost to last night, are losing right now to Orlando 69-51. Cleveland will kill us in a few days, making the earlier win meaningless, in my opinion. I think it could be very ugly, too. It's a very bleak situation. Grizzlies and Heat tied at 49, 10 seconds left to go in the half. Can Vivek get voted out of ownership? No, he has an ironclad managing general partner contract. Ironclad. Doesn't matter what the rest of the minority owners want. They are powerless in that situation. Powerless. Just powerless. Warriors play the Lakers tonight. That will be an interesting game. Timberwolves lead the Nets 44-34. Games in the West. All right. I want to get on for 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes or so. Get your pulse. Oh, I want to get to this. Lucky P, the amount of resale games on Ticketmaster for the remaining 3 games are through the roof. So a lot more than usual. Is that what you're saying? Interesting. Interesting. Two years ago, this was the most fun in basketball. How did it get so bad so fast? Great question. Great question. On that note, we'll say so long. Talk to you tomorrow right here. We'll cover it, good or bad. We'll have it for you. Kings and Hornets. And Lucky P, thanks for getting back to me on yes. I appreciate that information about how many tickets are available for the final 3 games. Thank you very much. Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Appreciate you. Bye-bye now.